NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, has been the transatlantic community's primary military alliance since 1949. Over time, the bloc has faced many challenges and criticism. As recently as 2019, 70 years after the organization's founding, French President Emmanuel Macron stated, "We are currently experiencing the brain death of NATO." His words sparked heated debate among allies. This observation echoed a question that has repeatedly surfaced. How relevant is NATO to transatlantic security and defense? With that question in mind, we take a look back and examine the moments when experts predicted NATO's demise and how the organization defied the odds. NATO's very existence was questioned from the beginning. The US Congress opposed a permanent American role in European security, while French officials disapproved of an American-dominated alliance. But the Cold War with the Soviet Union changed everything. The Berlin blockade of 1948, a Soviet-backed coup d'etat in Czechoslovakia in the same year, and the spread of communism across Europe solidified support for NATO among the bloc's 12 original members. In 1966, France, one of the bloc's strongest powers, withdrew from the military command of the alliance. Paris acted upon years of gradual dissatisfaction with the organization's structure and a perceived inability to promote French national interests. France's exit was soon followed by détente, a period during which tensions cooled between the West and Soviet Union, in turn raising doubts about the necessity of NATO. The Soviets' 1968 invasion of Czechoslovakia suppressed those doubts and convinced every member of the alliance to renew the North Atlantic Treaty the following year. In 1991, NATO faced perhaps its greatest challenge. As the Soviet Union dissolved and the Cold War ended, the security threat that sparked the bloc's creation no longer existed. NATO was forced to redefine itself and adapt once again. Through the Partnership for Peace, NATO expanded its membership among post-Soviet states and in turn strengthened European integration. It started the NATO-Russia Founding Act, meant to promote understanding and engagement between the two powers. It also adopted a broader security mandate. As war broke out in the Balkans throughout the 1990s, NATO intervened for the first time ever in Bosnia and Herzegovina and later in Kosovo, ultimately brokering peace in the region. At the turn of the century, NATO was confronted with new geopolitical threats like cyber warfare and global terrorism. Following the 9/11 attacks, NATO invoked its Article 5 for the first and only time. An attack against one member state is an attack against all. Fast forward to today. The organization is still learning the lessons of the Afghanistan withdrawal, while a global struggle between liberal democracies and authoritarian states has taken center stage. Actors like China and Russia threaten the global order that NATO seeks to defend. At a 2021 summit in Brussels, NATO recognized for the first time the systemic challenges posed by China to the rules-based international order and alliance security. This action set the stage for NATO to better confront Beijing's rising global influence. In 2022, Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent shockwaves across the transatlantic community. In response, NATO allies have bolstered their presence across the eastern flank and sent arms to Kyiv. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland called for Article 4 consultations, invoked when a member state feels threatened by another country. Since the invasion, the NATO alliance has even attracted historically neutral European Union members Sweden and Finland. Despite fears that Russia's actions would divide the alliance, the invasion has largely strengthened NATO's unity and resolve. With these developments in mind, the question remains, just how relevant is NATO? The answer to that question lies in the actions of its member states. Years of adaptation, expansion, and engagement all signal that NATO's member states determine the organization's relevance. The geopolitical landscape of today gives NATO the opportunity, once again, to adapt the organization and offer a united response to the transatlantic security challenges that lie ahead.